Candace from Beacon Hill Books. I'm here with a weekly sort of my week in books, and when I don't catch the light, I always feel like I'm like under a spotlight here. It's really not good lighting, but anyways, I finished 3 books last week, and one was a graphic novel, one was shorter. I want to talk about those, but the highlight of my week was we had a visitor in Boston, and her name was Liz from BookLearning, and it was awesome timing. I was just coming in, actually, and we had just finished Team of Rivals, so we got to fangirl about Abe and the book and BookTube, and I'm happy to report that Liz liked Boston. I'm hoping she'll be coming back. So it was a great little visit. I was very, very happy. So thank you, Liz, for making the time to see me. The first book I finished this week was 1,000 White Women, The Journals of May Dodd, and this is actually part of a series called 1,000 White Women. And the reason I had picked this up was because I have a NetGalley of the next book in this series called Vengeance of Mothers. And so I wanted to see what it was about. I have a feeling you can read the second book without reading the first, but I wanted to do it anyways. It was a historical fiction written in 1999. And I gave this book 3 stars. I had wished that there was more true historical facts in it, but really most of the historical facts has to do with the chief of the Cheyenne Indians coming to Grant and requesting 1,000 brides in exchange for 1,000 horses. In the book, he makes it seem like it's to help assimilate the Indians into the ever-expanding American country. In real life, the president shoots this down. But in the book, he shoots it down publicly, but secretly agrees, and some people do end up going, although the full promise is not fulfilled. Shocker. I did really enjoy this book. It was quick reading. A lot of the women characters really resonated with me. I mean, some of them were a little stereotypical, but there was an artist. There was this African-American woman that was an amazing fighter, and because this was during the time when she was also just freed from slavery. I didn't love our narrator, who is May Dodd. The premise that she was in an insane asylum before she was, quote, volunteered for this program because she was promiscuous, which, back in those days, yes, that it is possible that would happen. But the author kind of like threw it in your face. I just didn't like how he made her out to be lavishly promiscuous, if I'm explaining that well. But I will say the very good thing that I got out of this book, which I get out of watching Booktubers like Big Al Books, is it makes me want to read more very true stories about the Native Americans. And so since then, I actually did pick up another book. And I will read the second book by Jim Fergus, The Vengeance of Mothers. But I just know kind of now the standard of where I'm at. The other thing that really, really bothered me about this book is the names he chose for a lot of the characters were blatantly obvious of what their character was. Like, one of the generals was General Crook. Stuff like that. It seemed just really basic. Like, I wish he had gone a little bit deeper in that regard. Anyways, I think this is actually a common book club book. I'm not going to say it's the greatest historical fiction ever written. I did enjoy it, but take it with a grain of salt. That's what I'll say about that. The most amazing book I read, this, Child of the Dark by Carolina Maria de Jesus. Guys, this book, I'd never heard of it before. I'm curious, Renata from BookCravings, if this is, as the book says, that it is a kind of a classic in Brazil that is taught in schools. I'm not sure. But it is written back in 1955 to 1960 by Carolina. This is a woman who is a single mom to 3 children by 3 different people. And she lives in the slums. They call them the favelas, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. She basically walks around and picks up garbage to sell for money so they can eat and survive and live in this little cardboard wood scrap shack in the slums. No plumbing, 1 public cold water spigot that is the only clean water source for several hundred people. And these are her true journals. Like, a reporter ran into her when she was out and about. When you live in the slums so close to all these people, you know, it gets annoying. It's close. And he walked into Carolina telling someone, if you don't stop doing that, I'm going to put you in my book. And the reporter was like, I wonder what that means. And he went and asked her, and she told him. And she also had been writing stories, but he was more interested in her diary. And he just edited out some things, but it's really her diary. He didn't change any of it. This girl, she only had maybe 2 years of school. She learned enough to read and write, and she is an anomaly in the slums. Everyone picks on her for writing, and they thinking she's better than them. But her intellect helps her survive. And guys, I was just blown away by this book. There is a lot of sad things and a lot of also some repetition about just their daily day, like waking up, trying to wake up early to get to the water before there's a line. Because in the line, sometimes there's not water, and the women gossip, and the gossip is cutting and horrible. And she's just scared to leave her children outside of the shack because people will beat them and harm them. And the politicians, how corrupt they are and how they come to the favelas when they want people's votes, but then no one does anything about it. And it was really eye-opening. It's really about, hunger and constantly trying to fight off hunger and what that means. And it was very powerful, very powerful. When Carolina does get the book published, she moves out. I don't want to spoil anything, but this book is only like 180 pages or something. I think it's totally worth your time. Probably a 4.5 stars. It's just one of those books, I think, that makes you educated, and that's a good thing. The last book I read was Persepolis. This was the Read Around the World Book Club book, and I think, Persepolis is a well-known, very classic graphic novel, and I already did explain how much I loved it, so I ended up giving that book 5 stars. I just loved the combination of the storytelling of this young girl being brought up in Iran with her pictures, and I'm blown away. I got to read the second book. My book unfortunately didn't have it, but I'm so glad we picked this book this month, and I think it's good to revisit every once in a while. What I'm currently reading, which kind of leapfrogged ahead of some of the books I was reading before. I'm still reading Manhattan Beach, and it's picked up quite a bit, but still kind of slow. I saw that this is potentially listed for some awards already. The writing is pretty good. I just want the story to capture me a little bit more. I'm about halfway through, and Anna, the main character, is just getting into the diving. It was a process for her to be able to dive. And the diving was not at all what I was thinking of. I mean, we're talking about the heavy, heavy helmets, but I'm reading that, and I'm still reading The Murder of Mary Russell, and that one is picking up now too. But But I'm doing a few buddy reads. I'm reading Pachinko by Minn Jin Lee with Cheryl from Sierra Flames and Dee from Books and Quirks. I'm really loving this story, guys. It is a generational saga of a Korean family. This book checked all the boxes for me in terms of historical, novel, and where it takes place. These are things that I always love. So I'm enjoying this book. We're also reading a very well-known book, In the Woods by Tana French. And it's kind of a nice variety of books that we're reading. We are at chapter 9. French is setting the table with all the details. There's basically 2 mysteries going on. If you don't know about this book, a girl is found murdered in a place where there was a past history with one of the detectives in this book. When he was a kid, he disappeared with 2 other children, and only he remained. And he kind of cut himself off from that life, changed his name, went into actually being a detective, and now this mystery is surfacing, and it's kind of tying in that old mystery that never was solved. So really enjoying this book as well. And I'm reading The Obelisk Gate with Dee. Both of our library holds ended up coming, and that always happens. You know, you're already busy reading, and then it comes, but we have to read it, and I'm enjoying that. It's funny how Jemisin just throws you right in. Even the second book, it takes my mind a second to calibrate itself of where are we, who are we talking about, you know, those kinds of things. So we're liking that book. We'll probably finish that within a week, and I'm still reading The Invisible Library. This is just a great little fluffy book. It has libraries and mechanical happenings and fae and vampire. Those are all things I really like in a book, so this is going down very smooth. A quick book that are in. I was able to get The Ice Princess. This is our October Read Around the World book club from a author in, I believe, Sweden. Yeah. I got this book. I got Mel, Cocaine Blues, an homage to you since you made me go to the library, and I'm obsessed. Just a quick little cozy mystery here by Kerry Greenwood. I got March Book 1, based on the recommendations of Vanessa from Splitreads. I just binge watched a bunch of Dee's All D Books, and she also read this and loved it. And coming off of Persepolis, I was like, I need more. And Julie from Girl with a Book, I finally got my winning. I won a gift card from her, and we got The Shadow of What Was Lost and The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. Both of these came highly regarded by Kitty G. We're going to be doing a buddy read for this. So hope you guys are all having a great reading week, and I'll talk to you all soon.